Hello, everyone. I'm Juan.
Let's actually jump into the elephant in the room, that is ML. Actually, it is a cat. So we created Copycat a few years back. We've been working with ML for a while. The main thing that we were trying to do is actually bring ML to artists and give them access to it. The main thing here was around how can we make the artists not just use a model, but learn how to train a model. How can they actually use it for the specific shots that they're working on? How they use it to problem solve during their workflows. And that was the main thing that we put out when we started working in Copycat. So quickly, what does Copycat does, right? The whole idea here is you give a couple of frames of reference of the effect that you want and the original image. And then you put it to train. And that will give you a result that you can run in an inference node. And that gives you the rest of the frames for your whole sequence. So again, the idea is most of that work is work that either way as an artist you will have done. You will have done those first 3 frames or a couple of frames that you need to, either way. And then using machine learning to help you expedite that process and finding the solutions that you need for your shot. That is the main concept that we've been trying to do with Copycat and with machine learning in general, is empowering artists to get that and learn it and have access to it. Now, we have done a really nice masterclass all across machine learning. Please have a look at it. There is all great questions. There's great information there. There is also a Q&A that we run afterwards where there is people come back and ask questions to the team. So have a look. It is a great resource of material. And again, it's around teaching the artist what it is and how to use it as part of the tool set. And that's kind of the main area that we're trying to do with it. And it is a production-ready machine learning for the artist toolbox, right? It's not replacing any of the majority of stuff. You're actually just having an extra node. We don't have a single keyer. You have 10 keyers in Nuke because each shot could be different. Every time that you put a green screen, it will be a different problem to solve. So this is just another part of that. I'm building on top of that. I used to teach in 2 universities, and I built the compositing course at Escape Studios a while back. So I'm very passionate about teaching, and I have always been doing that as much as I could. So my main thing is actually that knowledge frees creativity, and the basics are the power to break the rules. And I'm a trained artist as an actual sculptor and as a painter, and I ended up nowadays working completely in software. And maths don't work with me, and my brain doesn't work, but I have a whole team of developers, right? So, but it is the basics, understanding the image, understanding the process of the art that actually has allowed me to go through all of this and use almost every software in this industry. So the main thing is actually to teach and figure out what is compositing. And if you put that around, you'll get different answers. Is putting things together that didn't exist in that place, or take away things, or is exaggerating reality. Sometimes it's accentuating reality. Sometimes bringing what we want. But in reality, what we actually do in compositing is sit ourselves in between the lens. Because what we do when we do films or commercials or anything, it's all about the lens. It's all about the camera and how we are pointing it out into reality. We can make reality perfect, but if you don't go through the lens, that's not the story you're telling, because that's just this. It's not the shot that you're doing. The lens is the main thing, and the cameras are the main thing. So teaching photography is a major part of understanding compositing. Teaching about the lenses, how light reacts through it, and how each lens is different. There is no lens that is exactly the same as the other. So normally, directors and DOPs, directors of photography, spend weeks and months deciding which lenses they're going to use for the show, because that gives texture and gives style to the film that they're going to tell, or the story that they're going to tell. So going around that and teaching all of that Not just, hey, I want to have a lens flares because lens flares are cool. And yes, everyone loves a lens flare. But why? Why is it cool? Because it helps tell certain parts of the story. It gives the audience something specific. And understanding what that is what is important. Same with the bokeh. The bokeh of a lens will change. And it's not just perfect in every single part of the lens. It actually changes as you go in between the edges. So I have a few examples at the bottom, but is that depending on what type of lens, you are actually having changes on the lens and the bokeh of the lens as it goes, and it's additive, and it has a lot of complexities. But that is the type of thing that will allow an artist to actually be able to do compositing and integrate things into a shot, because they actually do how the edges, how things actually blend. And then context is king. We are telling stories. People keep forgetting and just pressing buttons on give a sofa, right? But we are telling stories. The whole idea of the artist just working on a single shot is just because of the size of the shows that we do that. But we are all telling a single story. So understanding the context and being in a timeline environment and seeing the context of the show, understanding what is the communication between the different shots. The best compositors actually add details to the shots, small details, particles that fly a little bit here, or there was a really good one in one of the Jurassic Park films where they just added flies every time the dinosaurs move and step on the grass. They put a bunch of flies that will just come out every time that they stepped out. And it's a very nice detail that it wasn't planned, it wasn't on anything, but it just gave reality to what was happening there. And that, as an artist, you actually go and look at the different shots that are happening, and then you can have continuity on it. And you can help tell the story of why you are pulling a focus in a shot. Is it in a single shot, or is it in a whole sequence? And what is the speed that you're moving that focus in your shot to bring the characters and the people to life? So that is why I really believe in this idea that we should go a little bit away from just teaching a single shot, but actually teaching the context of what you're actually doing around and teaching on the timeline side. The other one is, this is a collaborative work. No film is done by one person, no TV show is done by one person, everything is a collaborative work. So manners are important. I do ask you, and when I said that, I mean it mostly in this way, that be organized. Your script, at one point, is gonna be shared with another artist. And they're gonna see a messy script, and you're gonna be told off. So, because someone else has to go through that and understands what is happening, I need to go and actually see what is happening on the shot. How am I problem solving my shot, right? And if someone else picks it up and it's just a mess, you don't understand it. I can look at that graph and I can tell you exactly what is happening from any distance. And that's what you will expect from the artist, is learn the visual communication within the notes. The other one is receive feedback, right? We're working together, you have a director, you have a supervisor, you have people that is gonna be giving you directions of a creative intent. And most of that feedback most of the time should be constructive. Sometimes it's more direct and it's more telling things off. Sometimes it's less, right? And sometimes it's just pixel and pick your favorite F word there. Mine is Foundry. That bit I think is very important. And especially today when we work, especially so much hybrid or remote, communicating during Zoom meetings, communicating and actually communicating with all the artists and what is happening is very, very important. And I think that that's kind of one of the main things that I will ask everyone to remember. So it's not just doing your single shot and thing, but actually working as a team and building a show reel together and working on that side. And last, why Nuke? Well, Nuke is like Legos. If you learn the basics of the blocks, then you can build absolutely anything that you can imagine. We have been able to see how in this industry we have created the most incredible worlds or the most incredible stories, but everything is done with the same nodes and the simple things, and it's just building tools on top of it. So with that, Thank you very much.